I just received products from Meghan Markle's lifestyle brand called As Ever, and let me tell you what I think. Whatever your opinion is about her, you gotta give credit. Look at the packaging and the branding of just the overall brand. Exactly how it comes mailed. It's actually really pretty. Raspberry jam looks like. It feels very like regal. The raspberry jam, it smells so good. That's actually good. I want to go and give this a try with a piece of toast and butter. Just about this is the ingredients are really clean. Raspberries, organic pure cane sugar, lemon juice, concentrate, and that's pretty much it. I think they did a really amazing job just keeping everything really nice and elevated. And they also have really beautiful cards signed by Meghan that come with all.
One might wonder if there's a secret society at the Daily Mail dedicated to scrutinizing every morsel of Meghan's life. She's an accomplished woman, a philanthropist, a mother, and yes, now the creator of As Ever jam. But perhaps to the Daily Mail she's a fixation, a fascination that they just can't seem to shake off. The history of the Daily Mail's coverage of Meghan is a saga filled with an unhealthy mix of obsession and bias. It's as if every breath she takes, every move she makes, they're watching her, and not just watching, but also spinning narratives, often negative, around her actions. Meghan's life under the Daily Mail's microscope is not just about reporting facts, but more about fueling an unending saga of controversy and speculation. Now let's take a step back and ask ourselves why. Why the obsession? Is it because she's a woman of substance, breaking barriers, redefining norms? Or is it because she's a woman of colour, in a space that's historically been dominated by whites? Or is it simply because she's Meghan, the woman who dared to carve her own path, defying the traditionalist expectations of a duchess? The Daily Mail's obsession with Meghan is not just about her, it's a reflection of a deeper issue. It's about a media culture that thrives on controversy, on negativity, on tearing down rather than building up. It's about a society that still struggles with accepting change, with embracing diversity, with respecting individuality. So, as we read the Daily Mail's latest review of Meghan's As Ever jam, let's keep this in mind. Let's remember that this is not just about jam. This is about a woman who is living her life on her own terms, and a media outlet that seems incapable of accepting that. Is there a day when the Daily Mail does not run a story about Meghan? Perhaps not. But let's hope that one day they'll learn to see Meghan for who she really is. Not just as a duchess, not just as a woman of colour, but as a human being, living her life, making her jam, and doing her best to make a difference in the world. In the latest episode of the Daily Mail's Meghan saga, we find ourselves in the midst of a jam controversy. Now, it's not often that we find ourselves discussing the composition of jam, but such is the reach of the Daily Mail's obsession with Meghan, that even her line of preserves has become a subject of contention. So, we're here to talk about Meghan's As Ever jam. This is no ordinary jam, mind you. It's one that has been lovingly crafted by the Duchess herself. But it seems, according to the Daily Mail, this isn't just jam. They've gone to great lengths to dissect it, question it, and label it as something other than what it is. Now, the Daily Mail's claim is that Meghan's As Ever jam is not, in fact, jam. They've scrutinized its texture, its consistency, its very essence, and they've come to the conclusion that it does not possess the properties of a traditional jam. But here's where things get a bit sticky, if you'll pardon the pun. In one breath, the Daily Mail claims that As Ever is not jam, but in the next, they question why it doesn't have the properties of jam. A bit of a contradiction, wouldn't you say? It's as if they've set up an impossible standard, a jam paradox, if you will. If it's not jam, why should it behave like one? And if it should behave like one, why can't it be jam? It's an interesting logic, one that the Daily Mail seems to have conjured up in their relentless pursuit of Meghan. They've spun a negative headline out of a jar of jam, a feat only the Daily Mail could accomplish. Their obsession with Meghan is evident, their determination to undermine her at every turn, palpable. But let's not forget, there are those who have tasted Meghan's As Ever products, and they're giving positive reviews. So, according to the Daily Mail, the jam isn't jam, but it should still have the properties of a jam. Interesting logic, isn't it? Let's dissect this jam debacle. The Daily Mail's critique of Duchess Meghan's As Ever jam raises eyebrows, not for the jam itself, but for the paper's audacious approach in its review. The publication claims that it's not jam, yet, paradoxically, criticizes it for not having the properties of jam. The inconsistency is glaring. Firstly, one must understand what constitutes a jam. Traditionally, jam is a preserve made from whole fruit, sugar, and sometimes pectin, a substance that gives it its gel-like consistency. Given this definition, the Daily Mail's assertion that the As Ever product is not a jam is questionable. The product, as advertised, checks all the boxes for a traditional jam. Secondly, the Daily Mail's critique of the jam not having the properties of a jam is a contradiction to their initial claim. If it's not a jam, as they vehemently argue, why then would it need to possess the characteristics of one? It's like arguing that a cat isn't a cat and then questioning why it doesn't meow. The logic is flawed and the bias is evident. Furthermore, the Daily Mail's negative spin on Meghan's jam seems more rooted in an unhealthy obsession with the Duchess, rather than a genuine critique of her product. It's as if the paper is more interested in dishing out negativity than in providing a fair and balanced review. On the other hand, those who have had the pleasure of tasting Meghan's As Ever jam are singing a different tune entirely. The feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, with many praising its taste, texture, and quality. This stark contrast between the Daily Mail's review and the feedback from actual consumers raises questions about the paper's credibility. In conclusion, the Daily Mail's claims against Meghan's jam are dubious at best. The inconsistency, bias, and lack of solid evidence undermine the credibility of their argument. Perhaps the Daily Mail should stick to news reporting and leave jam making to the experts. Now, let's hear from those who have actually tasted Meghan's As Ever jam. The real judges are those who have savoured the delight of this jam, not the naysayers who spin tales without sampling the product. The reviews have been overwhelmingly positive, with many lauding the jam's unique flavours and quality. One reviewer gushed about the unmistakable freshness of the product, while another praised its perfect balance of sweetness and tartness. The jam has been described as a symphony in a jar and a treat for the senses. These reviews stand in stark contrast to the negative headlines spun by the Daily Mail. It paints a picture of a product that is loved and celebrated by those who have actually tasted it. The Daily Mail's claims seem to be more of an obsession with Meghan than a genuine critique of her product. The people have spoken, and they seem to love Meghan's jam. The Daily Mail's obsession with Meghan continues to reach new heights. Their attempt to stir up controversy over her As Ever jam product is a clear testament to this. The publication's insistence on questioning the very nature of the product, despite it not claiming to be a traditional jam, is nothing short of baffling. Yet what is heartening to see is the wave of positivity that has met Meghan's product. People who have had the pleasure of tasting it have been nothing but appreciative, a stark contrast to the Daily Mail's narrative. As we wrap up our discussion, it's crucial to remember that these instances of biased reporting are not isolated. They form part of a larger pattern, one that we must challenge and question. Continue to support Meghan and challenge biased reporting. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our content. Until next time, keep questioning.